Sobriety Essays number 53, Surviving Thanksgiving. On October the 10th, 1984, my wife and I passed our 20th wedding anniversary. I asked her if she would like to have a card or gift for our anniversary. She looked me right in the eye and replied, "Why would you want to celebrate a failure?" I went to a meeting. I was 6 months sober, and my answer at that time to any problem was just go to a meeting. Besides, I did not come into AA to save my marriage. I came into AA just to keep breathing. And just because someone gets sober doesn't mean that marriages get any better. On Wednesday night, the day before Thanksgiving, 1984, my wife and I had another one of our famous fights, and she informed me that we were getting a divorce and she wanted me to move out of the bedroom. I informed her that if she wanted a divorce, she could move out of the bedroom, which she did. Thanksgiving Day, we were scheduled to have a noontime dinner with some friends at their house. So we showed up on their doorstep and we put on our famous Mr. and Mrs. Goody two-shoes. We pretended that all was just fine with us. The husband met us at the front door at 11:30 in the morning with a glass of wild turkey in hand. And at 11:30 in the morning, he was half blitzed. All I could see in him was me, because that is what I used to be. After dinner, we got into a poker game, and by this time, the host had gone pretty far. He could not remember what game we were playing. He could not make out how much to bet, and all I could see was me, because that's the way I used to be. Finally, about 4 in the afternoon, I could not take it any longer, and I told my wife I needed a meeting. That was the answer to all my problems: go to a meeting and not drink. She took me home, and I drove to a meeting 2 hours early and just sat in the parking lot until the meeting opened up. The meeting was a podium participation meeting. This is where you walk to the front of the room, stand behind a podium, and share. I was the first to share. Crying like a little kid, I was 47 years old, I said, "It looks like I'm going to go through a divorce, and I just don't want to drink over it. That simple." That room just changed. In an instant, the air was charged with love. People shared after me with all sorts of practical suggestions. Have you tried to get her into Al-Anon? Have you tried counseling, etc.? The answers always stayed with me were the ones that were more spiritual. This too will pass. Another person shared, acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. Two spiritual answers that stayed with me. After the meeting, I was surrounded by guys offering me phone numbers and even places to stay. I went home and slept in my own bed, and I mean slept. 2 days later, it was kiss and make up time one more time. That didn't mean that the marriage was better. It just meant that we had sort of a truce one more time. I was 11 and a half months sober, and that marriage just changed. It was like throwing a light switch. One day it was not working, and the next time it was. The last 20 years have been a true blessing of God, AA. The wife and I celebrated 41 years of marriage this year. We're just a couple of God's kids having fun. Happy Thanksgiving, and remember, my answer to most of my problems is go to a meeting and not drink. I will add to this essay that I am now 39 years of sobriety. That marriage lasted 51 years before God took her home.